Welcome back, everyone, to Canyon High School's one and only podcast, Winging It, where I constantly listen to K-pop music and then drown everyone out.
You do that on the podcast?
Yeah, on the podcast.
Oh, okay. I guess I missed that part.
Yeah, fun fact about me, I'm always listening to K-pop constantly. There's never a point in my life where I'm not listening to K-pop.
Okay.
So,
No.
As always, it's me, your host, Cambry King, my co-host, Claire Meyer.
That's me.
That's her.
That's me.
That's me.
Who is not listening to K-pop at the moment, or usually.
Yeah, or
unless I'm
ever.
sitting with Cambry, in which case I guess I am.
And then I reluctantly listen to Pop K. Pup. So, anyway, that is neither here nor there. That is a reference to some people at school. As Claire quietly changes chairs, I will talk about what happened last week, which was homecoming, which is a great thing. I enjoyed my homecoming trip. Would have been a lot better if it didn't rain. It rained quite a bit.
Yes, it did. So much, in fact, that the that the parade was canceled.
Oh, yeah. Rest in peace to parade. It's a good thing. I didn't really want to go to it anyway. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's understandable. To be honest, I did not really either, just because I feel like the parade is the one part where if you're not in it, it's really not that fun to watch everyone else be in it.
Right. It's just like, wow, they're having fun throwing out candy. That's cool. So luckily that got canceled, and the Powder Puff game got moved inside. It was a Dodgeball Tournament this year.
Which is super cool, and had I known that was going to happen in the first place, I would have done it, because I'm the best at dodgeball.
I am actually very, very good at dodgeball. I remember very clearly in 5th grade that I got an athletic kid, a kid that played football. I threw a ball and I hit him and he got out, and I was so proud of myself.
Wow, I had a similar story. In way back when, I think I was probably I definitely was in elementary school, and my friends created a chain. There's 3 of us, and I was the smallest, the youngest, so I got to stay behind. So by the time they got out, most everyone else was out, and I won that game. I was the last one left, and I won that game, and I've never been felt so appreciated by everyone. It was awesome.
I think I had an experience that's not similar to that whatsoever, but it does also have to do with dodgeball. I was in 5th grade, and I was just looking at all of the people throwing the dodgeballs, and I just turned to the kid next to me, actually the same one that I got out, that I was proud about, and I was like, isn't it weird how balls travel? And he just looked at me and said, no. And I was like, okay, I guess this conversation's over.
Got him. Were you referring to the distance at which they travel?
Yeah, I'm distance, and then I usually when I am out, I watch one ball and see how it transfers from person to person.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun to think about.
I don't know. I'm weird.
So but if you think about it, the same ball that you throw early in the game could have gotten you out.
Yeah.
Later on.
The ultimate betrayal.
Top 10 anime betrayals.
Thanks, Watch Mojo. But so I don't know who won that.
That's our shout out today. No, I don't either. I didn't stay the whole time. I believe actually that it was the freshmen and the juniors.
No.
Which is contrary
it's
to your
contrary
prediction.
To what I said.
Yeah.
I'm not even quite sure if that made that in the last podcast.
Yeah, that part did.
That part did? I said some other things that did not make it in. Just for reference, that other podcast, before I edited it, it was 30 minutes long, and I think that one was 24. Mm-hmm. So I cut 6 minutes of content. Last podcast too. It was the last part in the podcast. There was an announcement that I cut out too that happened. Yeah. It was Mr. McCullough coming on about the Route 9 is now, or Route 21, whichever one it is.
It was 9.
Route 9 was now cut?
Yeah, something like that.
If you were on Route 9, my apologies to you.
We cut out your announcement. That was clearly meant to be in the podcast.
But, so, at the Powder Puff game, they awarded Homecoming King, which went to Keaton Goss.
Yay!
Which I predicted.
You did predict that.
That did make it in, and I did predict that, and I'm so happy about that. Go Keaton.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. That was exciting. I don't really get the toolbox thing, though.
Honestly, I think at this point it's just a weird tradition. Like it's weird for us to think about like the past two kings, and I hope this is not like hurtful, but it's strange for me to think about like Seth and Keaton with the toolbox. Like that just doesn't fit them, and it probably fit the homecoming kings back in the day.
Right.
Like another tradition that happens here at Canyon is for every performance. Before every performance from the musical cast and crew, all the guys get into the dressing room and they start singing "Say It Ain't So" by I don't know who it was, Jimmy Eat World, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so like when I was in 7th grade, I was in the musical in 7th grade. They did it back then, and I was in the back. I was on the couch. I was dressed like a mouse because it was Cinderella, and I was like, yeah. But I think it's just what the tradition was.
I feel like you just revealed like a big theater secret.
If that's a secret, I mean, it's not really that big of a secret.
That's true.
And honestly, if you care enough, you already know about it. But anyway, another thing that happened that I'm really happy about, it was still with the Homecoming King. Keaton was the first Homecoming King that I voted for that actually won.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I mean, the only reason I didn't vote for Seth last year is because, remember, he campaigned for Isaac.
Oh, yeah.
Last year, too. So
right, that's right.
They were campaigning for each other, so I followed what Seth said, and I voted for Isaac, but Seth still won. And either way, I was happy.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of good nominees this year, and I'm happy that Keaton won. And then the next day, we had the Pep Rally, which was, again, the big Pep Rally, and we were one of the finalists. The seniors were. And I can tell by your expression that you're kind of upset about that.
I'm glad that we're recording this like almost a week later because I was really discontent with how that Pep Rally went. The seniors didn't get to finish their chant, which was a little disappointing because we actually sounded pretty decent.
Yeah, I was about to say that was probably the best I've seen it.
Yeah.
Which is the second time I've said that on this podcast, but.
And I don't know. I feel like being homecoming and all, we deserved that win, but that's okay.
Yeah,
I'm over
it's
it
fine.
now.
I'm glad that the juniors won. Yay.
But yeah, they were very excited, so good for them.
Good for the juniors. I still really wish that we kind of won.
Yeah, and it being our last homecoming and everything, that's kind of a thing.
I was really actually surprised that we made it into the finals. And then later the night was the homecoming game, which was against Big Spring, which
first we got the homecoming queen announced.
Homecoming queen announced before the game, which was Lily Green.
Yeah.
So hey, congratulations, Lily.
Yep.
I'm happy that you were able to get homecoming queen and all that jazz.
All the dresses were super pretty. I liked them. Were you there to see it?
No, I was there. That's not something that I really look for.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not like, oh man, what are their clothes? That's so cool.
Well, I mean, I was just complimenting them. I thought they all looked really nice out there. So.
Oh yeah, I think they all look nice. All the homecoming queens usually look nice when they're out there. All the homecoming kings.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy for everyone who won, Keaton, Goss, and Lily, both. Congratulations on your win, both well deserved. I'm congratulating you again because I don't know what to say after that.
All right. So, like you were saying, after that, we had the game. It was 62-0.
Yes, and
so,
we won.
Played.
Yeah, I hear that was a very interesting game to watch.
Oh, for sure. It was nice though. I was thinking about it, and it's really good for some of those football players who may not play as much with closer competition to have an option, like not an option really, but like be able to play, especially during homecoming. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Because
sometimes they don't play other people as much.
Right.
So it was good for like that second group to get a chance.
At homecoming, nonetheless. So
yeah, exactly.
Everyone got to see their own people play, which is interesting. I didn't get to watch it because rain.
Yeah.
There was a lot of rain. Not a lot. Like, not enough to cancel the game, but enough to be very, very annoying.
Yeah.
The front ensemble had to cover their instruments, run back up and hill. I probably ran up and down that hill 10 different times. It was bad.
Yeah. I would see, I'd be like, there's Cambry. There he goes.
There he is again. Oh, once more.
Yeah, but I was really impressed with the student section, by the way.
Yeah,
that was a lot better.
I when I was running off from after the band performance, a lot of them turned around and signed "I love you," and so I signed it back, and I felt good about that. So thank you, student section.
Yeah, I'm glad that made you feel better. I don't think I could have personally had a more homecoming-ish homecoming.
I don't think I could have had more homecoming.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But anyway, so it was a fun time all the way around. I enjoyed it. I felt like it was a good final homecoming, for me at least.
Right. I think that was one of the best homecomings that I've ever been to.
Yeah. So I guess next on the agenda is the fall break that's coming up.
That's this weekend.
I think it's officially the fall break.
Yeah.
So we get this Friday off,
Yes.
which is tomorrow.
Yes,
And
tomorrow.
then we get Monday off for Columbus/Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yeah, other states have called it Indigenous People Day, but like we started calling it, we keep calling it Columbus Day.
We were looking it up the other day. We were both very like confused that we were still calling it Columbus Day, but it's just a state thing. So
yeah, I think 6 states call it
Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
We still call it Columbus Day here in Texas.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Friday tomorrow is staff development day, and then I think you already said that, but I'm just gonna repeat it again.
Yeah. But I'm excited.
Yeah. I mean, it's the fall break. Like we had a fall break, a winter break, a spring break, and then a summer break, which is longer than all of those combined. So the fall break is 4 days. I'm really, really excited for it. I don't work most of those days. It's always rough coming back.
Yes,
Like,
that's true.
Going into the weekend, it's nice because you're like, 4 days, I think, and
It's
then,
just enough for you to get settled in, and then you
Right.
have to come back.
I mean, that's what weekends are. Weekends
Yeah.
are always just enough for you to get settled in, and then you have to come back on Monday.
Don't remind me.
Mondays don't exist, okay? Mondays shouldn't exist.
I always wanted, as a kid, to make another day in the, like, I even worked out like how many weeks there would be in a year if you just moved, like if you added an extra day in the week, if that makes sense. I called it Tri-Day because it was the third day in a weekend.
Because it was the 8th day of the week.
No, it was the third day in the weekend. It was Tri-Day. It took the place of Sunday.
Wait, it took the place of it?
No, it didn't it took the place of Sunday as in like the last weekend day. It came after Sunday, basically, is what I'm saying.
So, for you, the week starts on Saturday?
Well, it depends on what brain I'm thinking in, you know what I mean? Because, like,
Yeah.
school-wise, it starts on Monday. Work-wise, it starts on, like,
Sunday.
And then just personally, it never ends or starts. I'm just in a constant state of not knowing what day it is. Like during the summer.
For a second, I honestly thought that you were about to say, yeah, I rearranged the weeks so like I put Sunday at the end. And I'm like, that wouldn't change anything.
Yeah, no, so it would go by like my 8-year-old mind. It was Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Tri-Day.
Friday, Saturday, Tri-Day.
No, I guess not. I guess it'd have to start with Tri-Day. Tri-Day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then Tri-Day again.
And then Tri-Day. Yeah. Well, how many weeks would it be?
Well, I don't remember. That was a long time ago.
I was like, how many
We'd have
months?
to, like, pull out the calculator and do it. But
So, another thing that happened today, on the day that we filmed it, it would be 2 days ago. That we recorded, same thing. That we have a college day.
a healthy dose of anxiety for all of us seniors.
you say like on the box and like you're winking and it has the tagline.
Yeah, no, I really did not enjoy that.
Yeah, I mean,
And I don't feel bad saying that.
It didn't help that it was at WT because a lot of us here already know what WT looks like, and we've walked around. A lot of us have already been in the library because of last year's English 3 AP. So it was just, it was not as exciting as it was the first 600 times going to WT.
Yeah. Well, I feel like too, I don't know. It just kind of freaked me out more than anything, which I guess is somewhat what it was supposed to do. It's supposed to be kind of like a wake-up call for people who hadn't thought about that yet. But being a person who has thought about it and decided that I should leave it to the last minute, it was not pleasant. It's just hard to make a decision like that. Like it is the most, arguably one of the most monumental decisions you'll make in your life. Or at least it's made to be that way.
Right.
That's what I mean.
Like it's advertised to be like that.
Yeah. Whether or not it actually is, I guess, depends on you. But I don't know. It's still nerve-wracking. It's hard.
Can I give a shout out to the booth at UNT, the UNT booth guy, because he was so nice and so helpful.
And he had a really cool mustache.
And a really cool mustache. Like, what more can you ask for a representative?
Yeah. And suspenders.
Did he have suspenders?
Yeah, he had suspenders.
Oh, man.
And a hat too, didn't he?
Yeah, he was like going full out, and he was awesome. He was so nice. I'm really happy that we talked to him. Also, shout out to Cedric, the guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know that guy.
Yeah.
He was admission counselor.
Oh, is that what he was?
I think so at WT, and we played Family Feud, and our side won everything.
East Side. Shout out to the East Side.
Shout out to the East Side.
But yeah, that was my favorite part. Honestly, he was fun and made me less nervous and upset than I already was about the whole college thing. But the college fair, I felt like, was a lot.
Oh yeah, it was really weird, and there was a lot of colleges there, and it was funny how like some colleges were obviously placed at the opposite end of the rooms from each other.
Mm-hmm. And it's really, I don't know, maybe this is just me, but it's really hard for me to get a grasp on what I'm actually looking for, because to me it mattered not. Cut that out. To me, it matters more about what I'm gonna take than where I go. You know, So when you go to a college fair where it is all about where you're going, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So overall, not the best time, but the burgers were good.
I did not have any burgers. You wandered into the library.
And you had the potato bar.
There was a potato bar, and I just started eating those because, like, I don't know what was going on in the library, but they had some pretty good potatoes there, some mashed potatoes. So
yeah.
I
ate brownies too.
Yeah, I ate the brownies. Brownies were kind of chocolatey.
I liked it.
But did you have one of the brownies?
Yeah. I felt bad taking anything else.
No, I did, and then I had thought, I'm just hungry. So I started eating it, and then like the librarian there was just like, where are you guys from? Like, oh, we're from Canyon. And they're like, oh, well, you got free food on us. You're gonna go talk to the librarians. Like, yeah, we went to go talk, and then we realized it was time for us to leave, so we left.
Yeah,
so.
That's actually exactly the same thing that she told us.
Yeah.
So
it was a fun time. I saw one of my friends there too, one of the guys from work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Mason Curry. Okay, that's not too loud.
It's hard to look into the future and pretend like you know where you're going. Looking into the future might be scary, but looking into the past is very comforting.
I watched a video. It was like, if you don't remember 15 of these things, then you're too young. I'm like, oh, wow, I can't wait to be too young. And then all of them were like, one of them was the Disney Channel movie intro, like where it's like it starts off in High School Musical, and it has like Troy, and I don't forget what the other girl's name is, and like they're all singing, and then like the lockers open, and it's like they go through a street, and it's like the Corey in the House movie or something like that. I'm not quite sure if they had a movie or not, but it was like a nostalgia overload. I was like, oh my gosh, I remember all of these things. Like, did you watch any Disney Channel movies?
A few. I was more raised in even further back, I was like raised on Batman and G.I. Joe. So my nostalgia is a lot different than most people's, but I watched a few, yeah.
Did you watch Minutemen?
Nope.
It was a story, be prepared. I don't remember that much of it, but all I remember is that they went back in time and they wore ski suits.
Oh.
And it starred the guy who played PJ on Good Luck Charlie. Mm-hmm. Do you know who that is? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. He was also in Corey in the House. He always plays the dumb guy.
Oh, good.
So, it was so weird. I really liked this movie. It really stuck with me because he didn't play a dumb guy in this movie.
Oh, there you go.
Because he was the leader.
Stepping out of his comfort zone.
Yeah. I also remember at one point there was, they drove on the football field with a golf cart or something like that. I don't know.
Always a good thing.
I don't know if that has anything to do with anything.
So what else makes you nostalgic?
There was something else.
Because I was really thinking about it because I knew we were going to have this discussion. So I was trying to come up with things.
There was, like, going way, way back, there was actually McDonald's commercial where like there's bubbles going around and then like it goes up to Ronald McDonald like sitting down like in like actual clown face and everything, and like he was just like wow, or I don't even know if he said anything, but he was just like drinking.
Oh, that'd be creepy if he didn't say anything.
Well, he was just like all happy and everything, and he was drinking the milk from like a straw and everything, and all the kids go around like, yay, Ronald, and stuff like that. I can't remember it. I just know that it's in the recesses of my mind.
Right.
So.
Do you ever have certain smells that, like, bring up things to you? Because, like, I don't know why, and I don't get the smell very often, but sometimes I'll walk into my house and be like, dang, it smells like when I was 7 and we cleaned the house every Saturday. And that's just like something that I have in my mind. And we always had the same playlist that we played, which again is like older music than, like it was already nostalgic then.
Right.
Because of how old it was. But now it's like super nostalgic. I don't know what's going on here. We always had the same playlist that we played when we cleaned on Saturday mornings. And so now that smell, or sometimes certain songs will bring back that memory.
you just like, you hear the song like, why am I holding Windex?
You'd be surprised. I think I've actually been Pavloved into cleaning at some points. Like that smell makes me want to I'm like, well, I got to start picking up.
Like, grab whatever Clorox. Grab that Clorox over there.
What else?
I think, like, back in Muleshoe, which is where I grew up, I have a lot of memories with McDonald's because that is...
Apparently.
Yeah, there's a lot of... I really liked McDonald's when I was a kid, and I still, every Friday before games, I always go and grab McDonald's, and that's probably not very good for my health, but I don't care because I enjoy it. But we had a play place that was in, like, a giant glass box. Like, it was like...
hamsters.
Yeah. Yes? But it was like the biggest play place I've ever seen. Like even the one here is like tiny compared to like times that one by 3.
Oh wow!
It was a very, very big.
They were treating you guys in
yeah,
Muleshoe there.
In Muleshoe,
give the kids what they want.
It had sewer problems, so they weren't really keeping us there for long. But we would go with my neighbors from next to us, our next door neighbors, and we would go sometimes. And they had like these giant slides, and sometimes it would be dark outside, and so you would go down in the slides, and it would be all dark and everything. I remember I went down, and like you didn't have any shoes on because you weren't allowed to. I remember the cubby holes.
Classic.
Really nice. And I remember like going down one of the slides, and like static electricity like shocked my foot, and I'm like, I'm electric. Because that was the only thing that showed. I was like, oh my gosh.
The just scent of child in those places, like just how like strong it was.
The scent of child. It's the new candle that they're coming out with Bath and Body Works.
No good. I'll buy 20. No, that smell would scare me away from that. I never did those play places, or very rarely I would, because I was so freaked out about like the other kids. I was like, I can't.
Oh, I was quite the opposite. I would constantly annoy the other kids. They would want to stay away from me.
Oh, okay. So if we were in the play place together back in the day,
yeah.
I would be like sprinting away.
Yes. You're like, there's Cambry, and then run away. But no, it was great too because I would annoy the parents too.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Because
double whammy.
We had this one little obstacle in it where it was like differing levels, like 2 towers or something that were had staggered levels, so you can like climb on one and then climb the other. It would never exist today, I don't think, because it's not really a safe thing. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I did it. I would like go up there, I would climb across the tube and then go down the slide, and I went up to one of the parents one time, like a parent that I never met before, and I was like, watch this. And so I did it, and I came down, and they weren't looking away, and I went up and I'm like, did you see it? And they're like, yeah, that was really good. I'm like, yeah, I am.
You were that kid.
Oh, yeah, I was that kid. Still am.
That reminds me of a story, and I don't really know why, but when we lived in our house in Amarillo, we had like a dog place, and so my dog was like back there, and it was just a little gate like on the side yard kind of. Mm-hmm. And but she always got really excited when we'd go out to like feed her or like let her in. And this one time I was going back there with my dad, and I let her in, and I like undid her leash and everything because she'd like jump over the fence and we didn't want her to get hurt, so she was usually like leashed up, but she had lots of like running room and stuff. But I went and unleashed her, and she took off. And that rope went by my legs so fast it rope burned it. But there was a rule in my family that was like, don't cry if you're not bleeding or if you don't have any broken bones. So, being me, I looked at my rope burn. It was neither of those things, and so I'm like holding back my tears. I'm like... And my dad is like, it's okay, you can cry.
I give you permission to cry.
So... Yeah, that was a good old time. So that house I drive by occasionally when I'm in Amarillo is also very nostalgic for me. And it's changed a lot since then. But I remember planting the trees out front and things like that. So, yeah.
I kind of had a similar story of a dog. We had a cats, like, we didn't have cats, our neighbors had cats. And they would always find holes in our fence and, like, come over to our yard. And we were like, we don't care. We like our neighbors and stuff like that. So they had a black cat. Cask.
That's different.
They had a black cat called Sassy that would always like come over to our yard more than the other one, Sassafras.
Oh.
But anyway, Sassy came over all the time, and so we were like, whatever. She's awesome. We love Sassy. And anyway, I was playing in the back one time, and I was like, man, this is fun. I'm doing weird kid things or something like that. And then I look over and I see a black blob run into our backyard. I'm like, oh, look, it's Sassy. Weird. Sassy's going faster than usual. Oh no, that's a dog.
Oh.
And so I started like running away from the dog, and the dog got like dogs run really fast, as you probably well know. Mm-hmm. The dog came up to me and like scratched my heel a little bit. Aww. And like I was so terrified, like I ran in the house screaming, like constantly just running. That was probably the most scared I've ever been.
Aw,
so,
that's so sad.
Yeah, to end the podcast on a high note.
I was gonna say, Sassy, again, brings back Homeward Bound. Did you ever watch that movie?
I did not.
The cat in Homeward Bound is named Sassy. More nostalgia. My childhood was Homeward Bound, Legos, Silly Bands, and the original Wii.
Silly Bands. Oh, man.
That was my entire childhood.
The very first video game commercial I remember is the Wii, and I just remember like the two eyes bowing.
Do, do, do.
Do, 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 do. But I loved the Wii, and there's so many good things to talk about our childhood, which is gonna have to wait.
The good old days.
The good old days, because we're going a little bit over than I want. This is probably gonna be a lot shorter once I edit it.
Edited it.
But
I'm glad we got to do this. That was a fun little stroll down memory lane. Our own separate memories, but still.
I mean, it'd be weird if we had the same memories. So.
Well, yeah. So thank you guys again for hanging out with us and listening to us ramble about things that are now like 10 or more years old. So
an epilogue to that McDonald's story is that McDonald's it had sewer problems, so it was closed, and now it's just an abandoned building.
Oh.
They built another one next to it, which is sad.
Just next to it.
Oh yeah, it's next to it. It's not even on top of it. It's just next to it.
All right.
So that there's a little fun fact.
Don't fix the problem, just move right next to it.
Just build something completely new right next to it. It'll be fine. But seriously, guys, thank you for listening to us. Again, shout out this week was to Mason Curry. And I'll leave you parting wisdom. If you find a McDonald's fry on the ground, do not hesitate to eat it. Seriously, guys, thank you for listening. And I hope you enjoyed us just winging it.